told my mom I saw Jay Leno just now. Oh my god. You always think there's going to be like a reaction or something, and then it's always just like... But for me, it's... For me, it's a fucking hoop. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it just has to be about, is that, like, it just has to be a hoop for you. What's up, Serenity? We don't do readings, we just do specific questions. And by we, I mean me, myself, and I. In between raps. All apologies for this evaluation, but no hesitation. I'm the greatest, and if I have to be loneliest, I can peak mountain top to be okay, but I'm not tipsy. Yeah, it's just me going hip hop out of control. Hurricane, run, cyclone. I'm much more interested in the raps and the gaps between the teeth about the model things. And she tells me that she a model queen, but she's never been in the issue of Vogue or an episode of America's Next Top Model. Hold the door or the phone. I got the propane tank turning on. Gone, sparking ass lit like a fucking fire, like that shit, and yeah, take me higher. I'm fucking flying in a radio flyer, in the swamp lands, just to get Maya. Stun up a step when I trip up over my words. I bring the little and the verb. Okay, little heathen, fuck with a goon and a goblin, reason. Demon, hey. I'm much more interested in the flow. I'm much more interested in the draw. I'm much more interested in the hydroponically grown weed that we used to smoke in the day. That day was a Tuesday, depending on what we were doing. It was a weekday or a school day. That's okay, cause we was crazy back then. And I guess it depends. Is you a friend to the reflection? I'm gonna add another syllable and inflection just to get the rap passed in. Okay, Smith and Wesson. Never had a type of thing, but I should go set up. Invested with love, sent from above. Any yada yada coming hotties and they all around me and they really want the best from me. Yeah, they not in it for the money, they in it for the and the honey. Leave me with a radio reddit, okay? Ain't no negativity around me. If I have to build up from the ground around me. Sorry guys. Sometimes the board just has to rap. Was my last day interested in me or not? Guys, like, share, follow, subscribe. I'm not seeing interest, Serenity. I'm not seeing interest. Thanks, Sunlight, for telling me I'm a great rapper. I appreciate that. You are handsome, but you can't sing. What? What are you talking about? Let's see, what else? I would like to know, what did V like about me yesterday, please? It was your first time meeting. Thanks. If I had to say thing. I feel as though that maybe this person liked your, your taste, your sensibility, your style. Okay, what you like, something like that. That makes sense. Sunlight. That's kind of what I'm getting here. And your leadership, your drive, possibly. Let's see. Was Jamie trying to scam me? I think a little bit. I mean, I think that there might be a little bit. If you have to ask, then I think that maybe not. Scam is coming across as a hard word, but it could just be that this person is not on the same wavelength. So that's why it might be coming across as like a scam. Maybe they don't have the same belief systems that you do. What's up, Eliza? How's it going? Yeah. Hey, trips to Florida, you never heard of us before. I'm doing what hasn't been done before. The great ones before me spoke of, that's okay, yep, I'm gonna have to clear my throat, cause about to articulate the past, present, future, and course of things, okay, yes, I'm from the local source of things, yes, resources, resources, and sorry guys, I'm like digging my nose in front of you guys. What are we saying? Yeah, okay. What else? I saw Jay Leno today. That was cool. He was over on Melrose. I was doing deliveries in LA, and I saw Jay Leno. That was pretty cool. Highs, okay, I survived. I might not be the right guy, but I'm fly. It's sunshine light that gets me high. I've arrived. Okay, you're coming across drive. I sway, yes, no delay, switching lanes. But yes, I keep the wave. I fade away. Cross my mind, but I had to cross you up and drop the dime to the play. Yeah, it's next to me, okay? Yeah, she looking at me like what she likes to see, and if she wants to be up right next to me. She love my feels and smells, and all my deals is reals, and yes, I took it through hell back in the day, but that was a long another time ago. Had to add an extra. Kicking it, chilling it, illin' it, keeping really extra funky, fresh and feeling it, yeah, just dealing with it. It's the world and the life I lead, and I created it. It's not debated in it. Doubt the masses is just doing what they thought that they should be doing. I keep it fucking druid. Me and my homies, my robots, we fluid. Best believe it. Yes, if you can conceive it, then you can achieve it. Okay, and get but believe it. I'm fucking adding and added another syllable, tragic and no. Is it comedy? making magic, you decide. Yes, it's always a decision for you to arrive to. I'm coming at you like nobody else can be doing. They thinking that he juicing, I'm swinging home runs like Canseco or Dukin over the fence, and I'm bringing in the RBIs. And no offense, but all I had to do was be the best version of self, and that's no degradation to you. And never heard of your health, I never heard of your wealth, I never heard of your stuff, but I heard of mine. You wanna fucking join and get a line right? What's up, what's up? How's it going, people? Just chilling. Feel free to like, share, follow, comment, subscribe. I'm from Chicago area, United States, Illinois, but right now I live in LA. Hey, anyways, it's just another day. I woke up in my own bed, something to be grateful for, and all the thoughts that I enjoy. No, this is thoughts I wanna fucking ask for more. Big bow and deal, still we're rock from power to get this feel. Yep. Something you can conceive, something you need to rest easy. Take it in. What's up, how's it going? How did Neil see me today? Thank you. You guys are too worried about how people see you. I could see him seeing you in a positive light. I'll just say that. Okay? I'll say that he sees you in a positive light. But you guys, you gotta understand that there's spiritual levels to this game. One of the first levels of, like, you know, worrying about what people think of you, the evaluation that they give you, that's all ancient, archaic, social hierarchy structures. So, for instance, if you're so worried and so invested in if people see you in a good light, then you got to deal with people see you in a bad light. And you have to maintain your center either way. You can't get too lost in the good, you can't get too lost in the bad. Because both are not the truth. So, what's more important is how you see this person and why, and what is that a reflection of inside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Well, you get a reading by reaching out and setting up a private one-on-one paid reading. But if you want to ask a free question, you could ask a free question, and I'll answer it right now. But if you want a reading, then that'll be paid, $2 a minute, message me, whatever. But most people, you know people. I just want free stuff. But all I ask is that you like, share, follow, comment, subscribe. If you want to leave a tip or a donation below, do that. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Just write your question. You don't need to ask anything. Who will be my future husband? and when I will meet my future husband. Your future husband will be Joe Schmo from around the block. That's such an open-ended question. Like, you wouldn't even know. It wouldn't even. There's no rhyme or reason to an open-ended question. You have to look at the code and the data and the matrix behind. Why do you want to know? Why do you want to know that? That's more important. What's the thing in you that wants to know that? Know as in knowledge. No, you have to experience. That's what life is about. You have to go through the process of having that bloom and blossom and unfold in your experience. Knowledge of it can probably hurt you and change the trajectory of your path. So you have to ask a smart question. You know? I mean, if you want to play and have fun, then the language that I have at my disposal is zodiac sign, tarot, and we can look at that together. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I know his name is going to be like Shu Jabab Abri or whatever his name is. Like, it's just words and nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I could try to give you a zodiac sign. Next card is zodiac sign. I see Sagittarius energy here. So look for a Sagittarius. But it's like, what does that mean? It has to do with, if you find a husband is another preconceived thing, right? You could end up divorcing that person and hating that person. So what are you really asking? You know what I'm saying? And then I could, like, you know, fucking tickle your you know, I could tickle your fancy by being like, oh, he's tall and muscular and, like, he's dripping wet. Like, what do you want me to, like, you know what I'm saying? No, it's okay. It's not you. It's me. I read for a lot of people, and sometimes I, like, try to wonder and ask, like, what? Don't ask if you can change your question. Just write your question. You can just write your question. But if you are going to ask, then all I ask is that you be specific with your question. If you want to know if this person is going to be tall, then ask me if he's going to be tall. If you want to know if he's going to have black hair, then ask me if he's going to have black hair. Don't be lazy and be like, tell me what their features are, and then now it's my job to paint a whole picture. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this to everybody about the questions. I'm doing this for free. So be specific. If you want a paid reading and you want me to actually work, then pay me and I will work and try to look at these details for you. But I do this for a living, so you know what I'm saying? Like, think about the person that's doing this. Let's see. When will I meet my future husband? Well, do you have a time frame? I mean, I can look 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Okay? What's it going to be closer to? You're going to meet your future husband in 3 years. Sahu Jayosna Rani Sahu. 3 years. Mark my words. Let's see. If my ex subscribed, invested in OnlyFans girls while in a relationship with me? No. No, he did not. K Toxic. No, he didn't. So I hope you heard that about your question about your husband. You're gonna meet that motherfucker in 3 years, according to the tarot. I saw yours, K Toxic. Let me know if you saw my answer. The card's saying no. No, that person's not coming back, Sahu. I'm seeing a new person. What's coming towards you in life? In what category? What category, famous? What category? Try to narrow it down. Try to get specific. What are you keeping an eye for? Sometimes it's not what's coming for you, it's what are you making out of it. Like I can tell you right now, like being in LA, you gotta like make it. You gotta hold your own. You gotta hold your own energy, whether it's a mantra or whether it's a focus or like, I always recommend like a mantra. All a mantra is a single word or phrase, and then you just kind of repeat it to yourself. And anytime you feel anxious or insecure or whatever, you just repeat it to yourself. And you chant it quietly behind your thoughts, you know? And that helps stabilize your energy, focuses your energy. And that's how you're able to kind of like do magic. If you ever see someone doing crazy shit and you're like wondering like, how are they doing that? It's either they like trained and performed it, or to me, I think it's like a mantra. That's how I do it. But yeah, I just feel as though like we're talking about evaluation and we're talking about value, and it's like if you let people like try to break your confidence, like I'll give you a perfect example. Like I was running down to the park, and I was running in the middle of the street. Like I had a basketball with me, so I was like, fuck it, let me work on my dribbling. I'm gonna be listening to music, have my earphones in. And on the way back, I was like tired and whatever, sweaty. But I caught eyes with this one girl that was turning around the corner, this lady, I don't know how old she was. She could have been older, I don't know. And I looked at her and we met eyes, and I'm like just hustling, running, you know, probably out of breath and like just, but I'm like pushing myself. I'm dribbling the ball, whatever. I'm happy because I'm working on my skills. And then I look back at her, and then she has her head down and she's just kind of smiling. Now that could be interpreted as like a negative thing, right? Like a devaluation. Like she's devaluing. She's like, you could interpret that as like that person's like laughing at me or making fun of me or whatever. But what that is like, I think that comes from like ignorance or like insecurity or immaturity on that person's behalf. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're just kind of like playing it as like the surface level, as opposed to like the humanity of things. And we're all guilty of that, but I think that that's like immaturity versus maturity, you know? Like even if it's a knee-jerk reaction to like past judgment. But I feel as though that like, I once heard somebody say like the difference between like an adult or an adolescent, like add less, adolescent, they're adding less, they're subtracting from the equation. Whereas an adult, they add more, they're adult, they add to the situation. So I feel like in a weird way, like me looking to this person, and I was just kind of like, you know, being present and whatever, it kind of got stuck in my craw. I was like, why is this person like just smiling and laughing or whatever? I honestly do think like socially it is like a self-soothing thing to like laugh and whatever. But I think it could be interpreted as like offensive as well. Like the social hierarchy within the self would be like, well, why is this person laughing at me? Let me try to evaluate whatever. But any insecurity, I think, is something primal, right? It's something like ancient and archaic. So, but I think what spirituality does is that it looks at it and it knows that like your value, quote unquote, is intrinsic, and it can't be necessarily categorized socially unless you allow yourself for you to be categorized in a lesser way. So I think like we should all kind of like evaluate ourselves at like the top of the pyramid, so to speak. But that doesn't mean that you have to be a jerk about it, or you have to like snicker and laugh at someone. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to like kind of be compassionate to people. And like like even when I was doing deliveries right now, like you kind of see that, and there was like a trend. Like all the people that were doing that, like they're not people that I would like respect necessarily. So something to be mindful of, I think. And then I think like I feel as though like maybe the quote unquote sensitive nature of like we're talking about social hierarchy would be that if it is in this kind of like romantic flirtatious social context of like, hey, I'm checking out this girl, da 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 da, then yeah, I could see how there could be some sort of like primal insecurity of like, you know, romantic compatibility or some sort of like de-evaluation of like, but if I can see it and if I'm aware of it, then I know that I'm quote unquote like, you know, ultimately I have the last say of like my evaluation. And I think everybody should like, you know, be kind of like, you know, ridiculously like, yeah, like be delusional with like what you think you can do and what you're capable of, like as long as you're willing to put in the work or put in the effort. I think point being is like, if I'm like, you know, pushing myself like in a workout and this person sees me, like at the end of the day it doesn't change me. I'm still gonna keep on doing what I do, you know, I'm still gonna keep on doing me. So but it's interesting because I think it's very easy to identify with the insecure part of yourself that is like wanting some sort of like feedback or something. But again, if you could see it, then you know that it's not you. It's a lesson that a spiritual teacher taught me. His name is Muji. He didn't teach me personally, but those are one of his teachings. I do advise and recommend people to look him up too. His name is Muji. But you can kind of see the theater of like emotional insecurity or intellectual insecurity or something. But if it's all like a surface level whatever, then it's like you can't really give so much value to it. You can only kind of just work through it and you know, understand that it is some sort of like form of ego in some way, shape, or form, and that it's not you, but more so what is more identified to you is probably more so your values and your actions and what you're about, I would say. But yeah, I could see like my egoic self or my egoic thought or what have you, the primal self, you know, kind of like trying to wrap its mind around like the quote unquote unknown or that which is not knowable, you know, because I think like the survivalist self is always trying to focus on like bottom line worst case scenario where you fall in the kind of quote unquote social hierarchy. But we could kind of manipulate that. Based on like, you know, what we're trying to do or where we're at in our journey. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's born at the top, so to speak. And thus I think that that's how like life becomes a paradox, is that like nothing can give you intrinsic value. You know what I'm saying? But we do have like extrinsic value socially. But that's all surface level, and it's never enough because it's like there's all the other deeper layers. So you can't just give so much value to like this one instance. But you can be self-aware enough to see that in yourself and just like allow it until like it needs to like process out or whatever, I would think. Deep thoughts. Let me see. I don't know if Egyptian Famous is still there, but will I meet someone when I'm going to school? I'm not really seeing that. But again, perfect example, I think that that's for you to kind of determine, right?